I am in Virginia. What better place to start when it comes to fighting for the Constitution of the United States of America, as well as the Bill of Rights. Rights that no common American is allowed. There used to be a time when your neighbor was attacked. You came to your neighbor's rescue. Such is the case with Boston, Massachusetts. Instead of turning a blind eye because it wasn't happening to them, they recognized that because it was happening, that it could happen to them. And they stood up. They said, no, we are not going to allow you to do this to these people, because if we allow you to do it to these people, then you will come to us next. I spoke out about the things that happened to me, and the police did everything in their power to obstruct justice, to hide their own wrongdoings, to manipulate others, to twist and contort the laws into something so unrecognizable that the only thing we can do now is raise up arms. Now, there's two ways to do this. You can put your hands up in the air and say, I don't care about my rights or the rights of my children. Or you can pick up a rifle, point it square at your congressman's head, and let him know in no uncertain terms that his rights are your rights, and if your rights are terminated, so are his. The age of tyranny needs to end. We want to pretend that we're so much greater than everyone else. We're not. We're human, same as the blacks. Blacks where? Here in America? No. Blacks in America are not human according to American society. Neither are women. Then again, neither are men. Anybody who is not in the upper echelon, anyone who is not a multimillionaire, is not human to this society. And we all work to support these millionaires. And then we blame those who are more poor than us for the fact that we have no money. We waste our money on sin when things get tough. It's been proven time again that with economic hardship comes an increase in sin, an increase in prostitution, an increase in alcohol consumption, an increase in drug production and consumption. And you know what? This ain't just in our country. Although I can't rightly say that it's our country, because we have no rights. Now, Danica Garner, she's one of Natalie's ex-stepmothers. Same thing with Shelley Campbell. The head games that they played and that their friends played. I've documented all of it. All of it that I could get my hands on to show the truth. The truth that nobody wants to see because of what happened to me and how I was portrayed. Meanwhile, it's all for entertainment. Something Natalie spoke of. Entertainment. Because she paid attention to me. She was offended that I would say such a thing because basically it delegates me or relegates me to just be an entertainment in her mind. And I was apparently supposed to be more than just entertaining to her. But in reality, when she died, I had to deal with people who only saw it as entertainment. People like Shannon Alvarado. People like Caramia. People who wanted to stick their nose in it. People who wanted to get actively involved, but didn't want to find out what the fuck was going on. I shouldn't have had to expose anybody. I should have been able to go to the police. However, Danica Garner approached me. Same thing with Shelly Campbell. They approached me. They made empty promises and they sent people after me. I am in Virginia now. I'm not pointing a gun at anyone, nor will I. I know how to make my own firearms. I could literally go down to the lumberyard, spend just a few dollars, and make myself one hell of a shotgun. But I choose not to. My resources prior to August of last year all went to trying to get an honest day in court, into collecting evidence and trying to get a safe place where I could sit and work on my case and do the things that the lawyers would not do the things that the judges would not do, the things that the police would not do, which is form a case against them. When you have no money, you have no rights. No homeless person in America will ever have proper representation by the courts because we make too much money for them just by existing. And who pays for this? That's right, you, the American citizens, the ones who are already overtaxed and overburdened. Meanwhile, you want to blame those very same people that you are victimizing by paying for their incarceration and humiliation. And you want us to shut the fuck up. Fuck you, you're a bitch, Danica. You could have come forward with the truth. You knew what these people were doing. You claimed that you wanted to have coffee with me, that you were autistic, that you and I could be friends, but then when it came down to keeping your word, did you keep your word? Meanwhile, Shelly Campbell, I gave her access to look at everything. And then she wants to play victim. No. Sorry, but that's why I speak out. You don't get to lie to me and then play victim. You don't get to send people after me and then play victim. It's fine because you didn't do it. I have proof in Dalton Crawford's own words that show that he was with Alicia Bollinger when he threatened to kill me, you fucking whore. You fucking sold out your own people. Yes, you are a whore. You aren't the only one, though. If you sell out the American people, I will sell you out. Because you are not American. You are a selfish animal. I said I would speak out until the day I die, and I fucking meant it. The tyranny that we claimed we were so hateful and so against in the 1980s. The things that we claimed that Russia was doing to its own citizens in the 1980s. Even in the 1980s, we were doing those things to our own people while hating the Russians. Is it propaganda or the Russians really doing those things? It doesn't matter. The Constitution of the United States applies to the United States. Our rights have been trampled. We watch our neighbors be victimized by laws that would have gotten those police officers shot just 250 years ago. 250 years. Seems like a long time, don't it? You're not going to live that long, neither am I. But you know what? Your descendants will be. How will they remember you? Will they remember you as the cowards that you are today? Or will they remember you as the patriots who stood up for your neighbors? Because if you don't stand up for your neighbors, Those very same things that happen to your neighbors will happen to you. They will happen to your children and your grandchildren. I am willing to die for the First Amendment to the Constitution, while most of you idiots only care about the Second Amendment. You care more about your right to keep and bear arms than you do about your neighbors' lives, about their amendments to the Constitution, their right to freedom of speech, their right to keep a firearm is the only thing you care about. And then there's those of you idiots who want to get rid of guns. It's already been proven that an unarmed populace is an easy populace to victimize. This is why in the United States today, the homeless are the most victimized people in America. Per capita, they are victimized at almost a 2,000 to 1 ratio nationwide. How do I get that number? Well, it's per capita. How many homeless people do we have in America? Meanwhile, it's a hate crime to go after a child molester, but it's not a hate crime to take it out on a homeless person. Who's the most likely person to abduct a child? The parents. Who is the most likely to physically abuse a child? The parents. Who is the most likely to rape or molest a child? The parents. It's always the parents. Meanwhile, you protect the parents from their own wrongdoing. You do not protect the children. When I was a child, I was not protected. I wasn't protected from my parents. I wasn't protected at all. Neither was Natalie. Meanwhile, you play victim and it's all okay. Between actual evidence and slander, only slander was allowed in the courtroom. The people that I had evidence and was trying to prove with this evidence the things that they were doing to me, these people's slander was allowed in the courtroom. The very officers that I was trying to turn in for their wrongdoing were allowed access to that evidence, to destroy that evidence, to omit information. And because my neighbors don't give a fuck, it's okay, isn't it? If a law is unjust, it is not only my right, but my duty to break it. And that's exactly what I'm doing. The courts stole my evidence, stole my right to a fair trial, stole my right to a free trial and a speedy trial, stole my right to show evidence, stole my right to defend my life and my freedom and my pursuit of happiness. You're goddamn right I'm pissed off. I'm afraid, but I'm not a coward. Now, I'm in Virginia. Y'all might be familiar with this if you give a fuck about the Constitution, if you give a fuck about our rights as a nation, as we the people. This is the best place to pick up the fight. Y'all can kiss my ass. If you don't give a fuck about the Constitution of the United States, you are my enemy. If you don't care about the Constitution of the United States unless it applies to you, you are my enemy. We the people means we. If it's all about you, well, I'm hunting for you.